Everybody get up. Welcome to another exciting episode of Desperation Radio, Super Desperation Radio, that is. The Post-EVO wrap-up.
We're starting over.
We're starting over? Hold on a second. Okay, let me start from the top. Everybody get up. No, I didn't do that part anyway. Super Desperation Radio is live once again after a very exciting EVO 2K13. We're a little rusty.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you mean by we're a little rusty.
Okay, I'm a little rusty. Everybody else is just fan-fucking-tabulous.
There you go. Yeah, we all took a break after EVO because nobody was home, and the people who were home were very tired.
Yeah, I think some of you guys drove, and yeah.
Oh, you mean us plebeians?
I flew and I got home and I went to bed for like 5 hours.
Dude, I feel you on that. I did not want to do anything after getting home from EVO. And then you guys go to like Comic-Con the next weekend. Sheesh.
I have had a non-stop July. There's been people in my house all month, and I've been going to things, traveling. It's crazy. I'm pretty wiped.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, you are pretty white.
No. Well, that's not what I said, but that is true.
Oh, okay.
But since EVO, there's been a lot of things that have been happening. I want to hit the highlights. Obviously, the biggest thing for fighting games would be the announcement of Ultra Street Fighter 4.
Never thought it would happen.
I think a lot of us thought it was going to happen. I mean, we knew that 2013 was going to be a thing, or 2014, or whatever it turns out to be.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, it was either going to be that or Darkstalkers, right?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think people realized or thought that we'd be getting new characters for the game.
New characters.
Hey, there's still one left, right?
Yeah. Okay. So new character,
Yeah.
and then the leftovers of Cross Tekken.
Hey, if you haven't played them, they're new to you.
Hey, you know what's going to be the best if it's Fat Mega Man?
I would be fine with Fat Mega Man.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was saying. It was going to be at first, but they said it's a character that's never been in the Capcom fighter before. Or in a fighting game before, so we'll see. My bet is on Super Joe.
Super Joe?
Wow, that would be nutty.
I don't think.
Actually.
No, it won't be, but that would be nutty.
It would be. I'm just throwing out an obscure Capcom character that I've loved ever since I was a child.
Man, what's an obscure Capcom character? Isn't Black Tiger a Capcom game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yo, let's bring Black Tiger in.
Why not Higemaru? We got to bring Higemaru back. I mean, just throwing barrels at people. Think about it.
What about Ryu's little brother from the Alpha anime?
Don't talk about that.
Yeah, dude.
My friends forced me to watch that recently, and
It's gonna be Little Nemo, the Dream Master.
Yo,
I'd be
not
killing
Capcom.
them.
We talked about that at Comic-Con. That would be so hype.
It's not Capcom.
It is Capcom. They
made the game, but
That's
they
like
don't
saying
have
Mickey
the
Mouse could be in the fucking game.
Dude, okay, hold on. But Little Nemo is now in the public domain, so they could totally steal it.
I guess so.
It's been
But
years.
at the
Can
same
you
time,
imagine
if we're gonna
a level 3 with the wand from the old game? Yo, that would be tight.
What jam is going on?
I came up with the best idea. It's so obvious that I'm mad that we hadn't seen it before. What if it's actually Scrooge McDuck since they still have the DuckTales license?
I thought about that.
I would actually really enjoy that too.
Just throwing coins at you. Oh shit! I threw my coin. You gotta get it back. Kick you in the face. Pick up his coin.
Yo,
Yeah, it's like one of his ultras is like Launchpad just like crashes on you.
Nah, its ultra's got to be Launchpad and Gizmo Duck combined, just beating the crap out of you.
There you go. Gizmo just runs you over.
I wanted to be Gene from God Hand.
Man, everybody's wanted Gene since
Ever.
Yeah.
Here's my thing about that. When everyone would ask Seth Killian about Gene from God Hand, he just look at them, give him this depressing look, and go, no.
We could just make another God Hand.
Ha!
I'm pretty sure at the time Seth Killian would have given you the same exact.
It'd have been like, you're here shooting for the stars, and we're on planet Earth, dog.
Oh my god.
One of those people, dude, God Hand thing is like the people wanting Asura in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got to say that more like Basura.
Basura.
Shout out to my Latin speakers.
Oh man, this guy's straight rubbish.
They couldn't even put Sengoku Basura.
Put him in the bin.
Because they've been in the Capcom fighting game before.
That's not
No, it's a different.
You missed the joke.
No, I'm not. I'm totally switching gears because Basuda sounds like Basura, which is something I know about.
Weeb alert!
Put your guns on!
Okay, so they haven't really announced any of the rebalancing stuff. They just announced 4 new characters, set of 5th characters coming out who hasn't been in the Capcom fighting game before. This could actually be good for the game. Well, I mean, can only be nothing but good for
I was
the
about
game.
to say this can only be good for the game.
Yeah. The game is completely stale. Everyone hates watching it now. It's kind of exciting here and there, but you know what to expect almost all the time.
When you don't see the same 4 or 5 characters in top 8, it can be exciting. But when you in my opinion, at least, when it's a lot of characters that are heavy on option selects, heavy on jab confirms, the game is just really boring to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, people said it was really hype when what's his name was Infiltration was playing Hakan, but it's because Hakan doesn't really have a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he has some option selects, he has some safe jump setups, but the character still has to guess. Same thing with Haitani and playing Makoto. So,
Yeah, that was actually really fun to watch, and as soon as he lost is when I left the ballroom.
yeah.
It's like,
So I mean, personally, when characters actually outguess their opponent, I think SF4 is fun to watch. But since I don't see the system changing at all, really, I mean, I think one of the heavily rumored things is a more delayed wake up option, but we still don't even know if that's going to be added or not. I think it'll be a nice fresh coat of paint for people who already love the game, but I don't think there's anything that's going to win people like me over to say come back to that game.
I would actually. I was going to contend with that view because I'm actually thinking I might pick it up because Street Fighter 4 has been one of those games where like people would get used to it and then a new iteration would come out, and it wasn't necessarily a fresh start, but it was fresh enough that you could learn along with the rest of the community. And for the last 3 or 4 times, I've completely missed every freaking chance. So this is like my last chance to jump aboard the train. So I'm gonna do it.
You'd think that until Ultra 2014 comes out.
Hey, but by then I'm already sucked into the machine. So
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. Like I've said this about, and I'll say this for any game. If you have the right group of people to play a game with, any game can be fun. So I don't know. If say Alex was to start playing it again because I guess maybe Cody doesn't terribly suck anymore, I could see myself coming back if I had 3 or 4 people that I enjoyed playing it with. But the game itself doesn't really hold a lot of appeal to me. I'll say that.
Cody's not even that bad. It's just that they have no idea what they're doing when people want to buff that character.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, forward roundhouse. It looks like it hops, throws, and goes over lows. Does neither.
Bad spray now anti-airs?
Yeah. Bad spray now sprayer. That's bad?
I stopped playing.
Bad spray named changed to good spray to be good spray.
So I stopped playing after Super. Super was the last version I really did play. I loved using Abel in that one. He was fun to use. And then I tried him a bit in AE, and his character just seemed really bad to me. Like not bad, just different. I heard they made him similar to Super in 2012 or whatever the hell the game's called. I forgot already. But it wasn't enough to bring me back. I probably will pick this one up, try it out a bit, see what I think, and then make my decision from there. Because they can make the game different enough for people to get back into it.
I'm like insanely curious as to how they're going to screw Hugo up this time.
Man, do we have to talk about this? I don't want to think about it.
I'm really interested about it. Like, there's so many ways that the character can go wrong.
Well, I was talking about this with Ultra David the other day, and we were talking about how do you make a character work in the Street Fighter 4 system when 2 of his buttons, Fierce and Roundhouse, are terrible buttons outside of a parry system. Like, they're intentionally slow. They intentionally have a million frames of recovery. The entire point is to basically bait people into thinking you're going to do something else. I don't know how that works.
It's like they'd have to make them good in really weird ways that wouldn't make sense. Where it's like, oh, the Dolphinator is cancelable into air specials on the way down. It's like, that's not Hugo. What kind of crap are you giving us here? Or they could do the whole thing where like Cross Tekken, where suddenly like Lariat now has like armor over the shit it was. Like that was too good, so they basically just like put that in the crapper.
Yeah.
They should make Dropkick do 2 hits so it armor breaks.
That's what they did for Fuerte, and you know they're gonna screw that up.
Yeah, I was thinking Fuerte already has that move.
No, actually, that's something that pissed me off because you saw the trailer that they did for the character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Fuerte has a unique thing where if that dropkick takes you out of the air, it's a juggle starter.
Yeah.
So if you're like super good with Fuerte and you anti-air with dropkick, you get the hookup. Hugo in the clip dropkick somebody out of the air, and it's an air reset.
And you're
Why?
Like,
It's like, shouldn't he be getting a backbreaker off of this? Does he have backbreaker?
Yeah, does he even have shoot down backbreaker? I
have
haven't
no
seen
idea.
it.
Hey, here's a clip of Hugo in which he neither does. He does the only special of clap. We don't see moonsaults, or we don't see earthquake bombs. We don't see meat squasher. We don't see shoot down backbreaker. You don't even see Lariat. It's like, oh, he has universal overhead. That's neat. He's probably gonna be negative on hit.
Alex, you don't understand. He's doing the claps because he's clapping because the new game's coming out. He's
I
applauding.
wouldn't be clapping for it, dude.
But Hugo is because they're putting him back in a Street Fighter game.
Also, I'm really curious as to how they're gonna screw up his voice. Like whoever they got this new Dudley telling me to keep it classy can kiss my ass. He can keep it ass.
I'm really afraid that, like, standing strong, for those who don't know, the slap is gonna be like -8 or something like that on block.
Yeah.
It's gonna be terrible. Even though that's the move he needs the most, because the one good thing that could happen though, moving him to the Street Fighter 4 engine, I was speculating, is if he gets crouch jab times 2 or 3 into EX clothesline as a hard knockdown, that'll be good. Like, that's a really scary thing to give somebody, which means they probably won't let him have it.
Nope.
What
just like Hawk should have gotten, like crouch jab, stand jab into DP, but that doesn't work either.
What if they made a good footsie normal, like stand medium, cancelable into like EX lariat or clap, so that way it's not just focused and then you have to eat shit for
If they
free.
made his far strong cancelable, that would be really stupid.
I don't know, man. What all it's gonna be is he's just gonna get focused once on any of his normals and then just have to die for it.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait until the day where it's like, yeah, I did universal overhead to open this dude's defense up. Gets focused and dies.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Maybe
Hugo.
they'll give him vanilla Cross Tekken HP bar where it takes forever to kill him. You just
Yeah,
time everybody out.
Dude, it doesn't.
Hugo now has 2,000 health.
It doesn't help Hawk that much, so I don't think it's gonna help Hugo that much.
Well, he has 2,000 health, so it's like twice a life for everybody. He only wins
Yeah.
on timeouts.
Yeah.
Block. Just keep blocking.
I think the worst question is what will be his super and what will be his ultras, because if he has ultimate backbreaker as one of his ultras, it's going to be just as bad as Hawk's is. It's not going to work right.
No.
Well,
The hitbox only catches grounded opponents that are maybe airborne.
Yeah.
what about the? Sorry to bring this up, but Cross Tekken isn't his like you can combo into it because it starts with a hit.
No, because in Cross Tekken, it's Hammer Mountain, and it transitions into
Yeah.
Giga Breaker.
Yeah.
But, no. Just no. That's just a bad idea. Like, that does not need to happen. If they're just going to mash together all 3 Ultras at once, where it's like, hey, it's a Hammer Frenzy that goes into Shoot Down Backbreaker, maybe, if they were in the air.
It's going to, like, if his 2 ultras are Hammer Frenzy and Gigas, and the super is the anti-air, I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head. That would be good, provided they don't nerf Hammer Frenzy, because Hammer Frenzy would be a great ultra.
Can I still link it after a clap?
And can we also call it Hammer Mountain, because that's what the damn character says?
See, that's going back to my original point of his voice being terrible. Like, if he doesn't have, like, the really gravelly German,
Yeah.
where it's just
Wow.
threatening at the beginning, it's like, Besiege! And now it's just gonna be, like, some really, like, horrible thing where, like, it gets translated into English and some whitey white guy doing the voice where it's like, time to conquer!
Yeah, I can definitely see that. That's exactly what it's gonna be.
Elena could be really cool actually in Street Fighter 4, like, and she could be really good. We'll see how they put her in.
Yeah, dude. Like, she's actually really good in Third Strike. It's just you don't pick her because Chun exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, it's a character with all the exact same options you have, but they're all better.
And Rolento,
That could go either
I think
way.
that's a wait and see. Like, the Rolento could technically end up really ridiculous, but
We
I
could be on,
hate how
he
slow he looks.
could be on some Ibuki shit.
He looks really slow.
but that's what they're trying to get rid of in this, is that whole vortex thing. So it'll
What
be
if
interesting.
he doesn't have Take No Prisoners? They might screw that up, dude. They
Yeah.
obviously have already shown that I think one of his ultras is like a transplant from his cross Tekken thing where he throws grenades at you. And it's not Minesweeper where like
Where he rolls
he
backwards
rolls
and throws
back
them.
and throws a grenade.
Dude,
No,
okay, he needs to have Ultra, and it needs to be Take No Prisoners, and it needs to be like Fuerte Spark when it first came out, which is, did you fuck up? Poof, you're dead.
he just
Full screen.
fire.
You Hadouken? Mm-mm.
So Patriot Circle needs to be punishable,
Right.
but not like minus 8 million.
Not like Alpha.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you have EX for. Just make that safe. At
I
least
hope
the
EX
front-
isn't.
that would
I hope
be
EX isn't like cross Tekken where it's like, yeah, spin once and
That became a problem with Faye. We saw the problem with EX Rekkas being,
being safe.
yeah.
I don't know. It seems
make
like it's
everything
even trade.
safe.
EX Rekka shouldn't be invincible, but they should be able to deflect projectiles. Yeah.
Actually, it does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he,
Oh,
has he has a move for that, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, EX Rekka's when his hand's on fire, I'm pretty sure neutralizes fireballs.
No,
No,
you
I'm
don't
saying
get
for
it. He's saying
For
deflect.
Oh, for
Yeah.
Relent?
Yeah,
Deflector just sends back some
Like
Dragon
send it
Balls.
back.
Like some
Yeah.
Rose shit, man.
Yeah. He's spinning the stick, man. The
Be
stick's
like-
spinning.
be like-
Spat
Oh,
it.
he like he takes the fireball and tosses a grenade in return.
And I mean, I assume that the EX rollback into, I can't remember what his moves are actually called.
I think that's Mekong Delta.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they kept that name. But anyway, I would be surprised if the EX version of that doesn't have some invincibility on it.
EX Stinger now throws 2 knives, but not in the directions you'd think. Or
They're horizontal.
Not the directions you want. One of them goes straight up.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, like they're gonna just have a CVS 2 knife super, right? For his regular super? Oh boy.
Oh, dude, that was like combo video fodder. That's like the only reason that thing existed. It's like, hey guys, what if I do this move, but I get hit out of it with Steel Rain in the middle, and then I can give you the boop pop.
Oh my god.
But I mean, Faye could actually have some really good standing normals. Not Faye, but Rolento could have some really good standing normals, provided they're gonna need to make some of them 2-hit, because otherwise he's just gonna get destroyed.
Like, what's that one where he swings the pole down? That's Stan Fierce.
That's fierce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That has to hit twice.
Yeah.
I think it does. If you're close enough, that is.
It'll be really interesting to see what they do with his pogo, because the pogo has always had weird shenanigans, and they could make some really odd situations in Street Fighter 4. And then Poison. I haven't played Cross Tekken a lot, so I don't know much about Poison at all.
As far as I can tell, it's Rekka Fireball anti-air character. It's nothing. I mean, maybe if it's like a combo character, it would be cool. I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know much either.
So, and then we got 5th character, the mystery.
Never been in the Capcom fighting game before.
Yeah. There's too many options, honestly. I mean,
Yeah, Capcom has a whole slew of characters that they can use.
Original
Obviously-
characters?
obviously you want to make sure it's somebody. Well, see, that was what I had heard originally was going to be, is that it was going to be an original character on the level of like a Hakan or, but I don't know. More and more speculation keeps like pointing toward an established Capcom character that's never been in a fighting game. So
Which essentially means any character.
yeah, but I mean, you got to
else-
have somebody who fits in with.
Yeah,
With
they said
the
they fit
SF4,
in.
because like we were talking about Little Nemo, but Little Nemo would be way better for something like a Marvel. Never
Yeah.
fit
Yeah.
Street Fighter.
Don't even say it, man.
So,
No Breath
and man,
of Fire
it
characters.
better not be another Shoto. It better not be another.
I can't wait. There's like what 8 already in the game.
Dude,
What if
there's
it's like
too many.
Kid Sean? Because technically, Kid Sean was never in Street Fighter. The teenage Sean was in Street Fighter.
Whatever.
I would have been actually if they had just said we're putting Sean in, I'd been like, okay. At least I know. Don't make it a big reveal and then give me another Shoto.
Yeah.
Like they
It's
did
just-
with Evil Ryu and Oni. And they're like,
It's
2
just
more
gonna be-
characters.
Like another Final Fight character, like Dean or something.
Oh God, what if it's Violent Ken? Because technically, that's an SNK game.
He was in a fighting game though, so
And it can be Eddie E. How about that?
he was in a
Hey.
fighting game too.
Yeah, he
No,
was.
I
Ba-bang.
still think, I still
Yeah.
think it's Damn D. That's what I think it is.
No, he was in a fighting game as well.
Yeah, that Final Fight game.
Final Fight
Oh,
Revenge.
yeah, the Final Fight.
Oh, I never played that.
Eddie E turned
It's not
into a
very
cop
good.
car.
Alright,
And
then. Alright, fine. It's-
ba-bang.
Why couldn't it have just been Sodom? Like, I would have played Street Fighter 4 for that.
Oh, that'd be
game.
so sick.
Yeah. Why don't they just put in all the Final Fight characters at this point? I mean, come on.
I really think so. Like, put in all. They already have like 50 something characters. Like, just put in Birdie, put in Sodom.
What was that guy from Final Fight 2? The Roberto
Carlos.
or something?
Carlos.
Carlos, yeah.
Racist bastard.
Sorry. Not really.
Yeah, I mean, they can put a lot of people in. I would have loved seeing a Maki in the game.
Honestly,
I
at
love
this
Chris.
point, I'm convinced that Elena's a part of Mad Gear, considering the character selections that they put in for the new ones. So,
Nice.
I mean, come on.
I mean, you make a valid point.
She's a college student.
But look at it. It's like Poison, Hugo, Rolento, and Elena.
And
She
you're like,
got-
huh?
You're telling me she dropped out? She got her doctorate and fell in with the wrong crowd.
There you go.
I don't know.
No,
She got
I
her
think she fell
PhD in the
with
streets.
right crowd.
You went to upstairs medical college.
But okay, so that happened at Comic-Con. And at Evo and at Comic-Con, we got more information on the update on Tekken Revolution. We're gonna get Dragunov. We're gonna get Walrong. We're gonna get a practice mode, which is
Yay.
great. And then we're going to get Vampire Girl on because of a fan vote.
Those always end up so well.
What did you call that,
And-
Tony? You called that a Homestuck character?
No, I didn't say that. That wasn't me.
Okay.
But
That was Alex.
I've seen, I guess, what are the preliminary sketches, and how does that fit into Tekken? I mean, I get it, the Mishimas and the whole devil gene, they've got wings. Okay, that's weird enough. But
Why stop there, man?
I
You
guess,
can totally
I'm
bury
just
it.
not sold on it. Maybe I'll be a little bit more open to it when I see a character model.
Well, how many people were sold on Devil Kazuya in 2? It was like, huh? How the hell did this happen?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
I suppose you're right.
even at the same time, we have Ogre, we have.
But that's after years of building up shit from 2, basically.
Well, we also got Mr. Zombie Cyborg Brian.
Also
Yeah.
after 2.
You can't just have two as be
I'm
like.
telling you, 2 was the
everything- that's
inciting
silly.
incident. 2 was the inciting incident. They were like Angel and Devil. The whole world
Didn't they
was
also
open.
have Alex and Roger? I mean,
Okay, look.
Technically,
they're just
those could
fighting-
happen.
They're just fighting animals. At least they exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Raptors
seen a bear
exist.
ride a tricycle, haven't you? I mean, you never know what.
I'm pretty sure if I went up against a bear with boxing gloves, he'd kick the shit out of me.
Well, he probably knew how to use them.
Exactly.
That's true.
Actually, I kind of
But,
prefer if
I
he
mean,
has
like
the
I
boxing
said,
gloves on.
yeah, exactly. Tekken is the furthest thing from reality. It's just for some reason I heard Vampire Girl and I was just like internally cringing. I haven't actually played Tekken Revolution myself yet. I watched my buddy play it when we were staying down in San Diego. It seems like it's fun, except for the fact that you can power up and then you put your strength to like 150 and throws do 60% to 70%. Like I think
God
it's
damn.
if you have your strength at like maxed out, Giant Swing does like 80% or something like that.
Doesn't
So-
Rage also increase throws in Revolution? Like throw damage?
I don't know, actually. I don't know. So I can't speak to it. Other than that, like Tekken Revolution seems like I like the fact that there's no bound, because bound, as anybody who knows me knows that bound is one of my most hated things in 6 and tag. So it's more like the combos are more like 5. They're shorter. You get back to the footsie game, which I think is what Tekken's strength is. And the invincible moves actually add a new level to the mix-up, because instead of having to learn everybody's moves in the game, you can just go, I don't know what that is, I'm going to do this invincible move. I mean, it helps. It's something I think that new players can really use. So I'm kind of hoping that Revolution is
a doorway.
Is like the beta for either Tekken 7 or Tekken X Cross Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
I say get rid of the critical system. That was a little silly.
Yeah, they don't need to have critical hits when Death Fist already does a ridiculous amount on counter hit.
I kind of feel like they're like just trying to make this like, your typical, MMO thing where it's like we had a good concept and then we blew it up by adding stat bonuses and pay shop shit,
Yeah.
Well, isn't this the same exact thing the Chinese KOF thing is doing?
Exactly. I don't know if they're going to do stat
bonuses and all
system,
that.
though.
They do have that.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still in beta, but I don't know if it's going to stick around. But they definitely have it where you can make one move stronger, better properties and junk. I don't know exactly how it works, but I've read a bit about it. And I want to be honest, it doesn't sound good at all.
Well, the cool thing about that is like usually with those kind of games, they'll always have like a server where everything's just turned off and you're going with base stats.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, I don't know much about online games.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
And then, so that's Tekken. And of course, we're going to have the U.S. qualifiers for the Tekken Unlimited Tag Tournament 2 World event coming up here in Southern California on August 17th and 18th. Arcade only. That's why I said unlimited. It's going to be really interesting to see who comes out for this, and I'm kind of still wondering if we're ever going to get an arcade update to match the console.
Where is it going to be held?
Round 1, Puente Hills Mall, City of Industry.
Okay, and will it be streamed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They're kind of weird about that, aren't they?
From what I know, Round 1 doesn't like people hooking things into the cab that don't work there, like that aren't their techs. So, but I know that Level Up streamed SBO Quals the 1 year.
Yeah.
So maybe if Level Up approaches them about it, it could happen. I don't know that there's anybody else who has worked with them in the past that would be able to get that pass to do it.
Yeah. Also, for those who don't know, QQ in China released several King of Fighter games on their network, including King of Fighters 98 UM Final Edition, which is considered the best version of 98 UM, and just a lot of people say it's the best version of 98 in general in terms of balance. This is the first time it's been ported over to anything. So, yeah, I don't hear good things about it right now. It's still in beta phase, but it's something.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried it. It works fine. I guess it also kind of has like a... like, how, I'm not sure if you guys know, but, like Pogo, how when we try and play Monopoly or something, there's a room, and then you sit down in a chair. Essentially what it is that when you play the game, there's different people who are already playing, and you can go in, you can watch them be playing, like arcade mode, and then you can quarter up, and then you can, join in. But the thing is, from what I can tell, I think that quarters at this point might be limited, so that if you lose 5 times, you can't play anymore for the rest of the day.
You got to buy more
I don't know
quarters.
if you have to. Yeah, I don't know if you have to buy more through points, because I was trying to look at it, but obviously
That's most likely what's going to happen.
I'm not the best at Chinese.
Or Mama only gives you 5 quarters a day.
Well,
Yeah.
So somebody who is a noob at 98, what does Final change?
Well, once it went to UM, there was a lot of balance changes, like damage was chilling down, new moves were added. They added in pretty much, I think, all the characters from 94 to 97 to 98 that were playable. People have more alternate forms, like the Fatal Fury characters will have this one plays like Fatal Fury 2, or Blue Mary plays like Real Bout. instead of like how they normally would play. Just overall buffs for certain characters. In UM, they toned down Kyo's damage because it was ridiculous in the original. But in FE, I think they pushed it back up a little bit because of scaling.
Yeah, they brought it back up a bit.
Krauser, obviously a monster in UM. He's still a wall though in FE. He's still really good, just not as ridiculous.
But they also, from 98 to 98 UM, they also toned Ralph down a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It made me sad. All right, carry on.
But other than that, Killer Instinct obviously has made a more public presence known. People got to play Glacius at EVO, at Comic-Con. The community attitudes toward the game are really positive. I played it for about 20 to 30 minutes at Comic-Con, and I don't like it personally. Part of it is not understanding what's going on, definitely. Like, my opinion could change if I sat down with the game longer, but it feels a lot like old KOF, so that's good for people who are big fans of this series.
You mean KI?
KI, yeah.
Oh, wait,
Brain.
what happened?
Sorry, it's my brain. With basically chain combos, like special move chain combo into next chain. I don't like the way the game looks. I really don't. I think it's really ugly. I think it looks like a modern Primal Rage. Though we were talking about, Primal Rage was really tight when we were in high school, so maybe that's what they're going for.
Because we could draw the characters in our notebooks and shit, you know?
You know what, the look I can see that I feel like KI has right now is that it looks sculpted, and I mean out of clay. Like, it literally does look like an old stop animation game to me. The effects all look super high tech, with the explosions and the but the characters themselves look very much like that, and it's just totally unappealing to me.
I think the game looks like a tech demo that people aren't putting too much thought into because they don't understand how fighting games work.
Yeah, that could be. Then the weird thing I did notice is that no air reel is really weird to me. Like, when you trade in the air and one person just gets slammed down to the ground, that feels awkward. But again, like I said, I didn't spend a lot of time with it. I'm not gonna profess to be some kind of expert on it.
That's what Sanchez is for.
I just felt like when I had played it, it wasn't my cup of tea. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't give it a shot when there are more characters available. Oh, I also don't like what they did with Glacius.
Yeah.
He's more like a traditional Dalsim type character, it looks like, with like full screen normals. He doesn't seem to have a fireball anymore, except like an air one. I don't know. I'm just complaining. Don't mind.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play it. I saw it at EVO. Rich asked me to play it a couple times. I just gave him that look like, nah, it's cool. I'll probably try some other time. And plus, the line was really long. The game just doesn't. I'm going to be honest. Just looking at the game, it doesn't look appealing to me. I'd like
that's
to
how
try
I feel
it
too.
Yeah, I want to try it before I write it off, or like I'm not bashing it. It just doesn't look like something I would get into.
Yeah.
Seeing a lot of people use Glacius, where he has a combo where apparently he just stomps on the ground several times.
Yeah, it's the stomp the yard combo.
Yeah, that thing. It's like, hold on, let me stomp the ground about 10 times. I'm gonna get a 28 hit combo here. Yeah. So
I will say alternately. Nerd Josh was with me, and he actually really likes the game.
Mm-hmm.
He was having a lot of fun, trying to actively break the system and see what he could get away with. He said he really enjoyed it, so he was playing a lot of it.
What game doesn't Nerd Josh like?
Well,
I
think there's some games that Josh doesn't like.
Yeah, I was gonna say this guy is a huge fan of Double Dragon on Neo Geo.
The first
Now,
one?
I love the man, but Double Dragon on Neo Geo. It's like, let me just pick a Bobo and just, go ham on you. Rah! That's just pretty much all he does.
Hey, man, if somebody money matches you and doesn't pick a Bobo, that's his money going down the drain.
No, you could play the Chinese martial artist guy. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I said, it's a beta. It's early.
Yeah.
I could just be complaining. If you get a chance, go play it for yourself.
Then, on the subject of new games, new characters, and junk, Martian Manhunter was announced for Injustice.
Yeah.
And what is it? Jon Stewart for Injustice as well. Is it a new character or just an alternate?
It's going to be an alternate Green Lantern skin, but what I couldn't tell is, because I only saw the preview at EVO, is I couldn't tell if he has a different voice.
I think he does,
Everyone's telling me it's Phil Lamar doing the voice.
Is it? Okay, well that's awesome, because that's what I was really hoping was for when characters got different skins that they'd have different voices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And Jon Stewart's awesome, and Hal Jordan sucks ass, so...
Oh, man, you don't like Ryan Reynolds?
No, I like Ryan Reynolds. I don't like Hal Jordan. There's a difference.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. He's not fucking Green Lantern.
Yo, that's real.
No, the thing that's really I gotta commend Injustice for is that with each alternate costume, while they not exactly always have different voices, there's different win poses and definitely have different character, like the way they would act in a certain thing or who they're supposed to be. So to make alternate costumes that actually impact how the character is, like just in aesthetics, along with voice and win pose, is pretty good attention to detail. I feel that that's something that more games need to do. But
yeah, I was actually pretty disappointed when we got Blackest Night Superman, or is it Superman? Yeah, and he didn't have a different voice.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, really? But I'm really glad that Jon Stewart's going to have his original voice, or at least his cartoon voice.
Mm-hmm.
And Martian Manhunter looks really cool, kind of like a hybrid Dalsium, almost kind of like a Seth type character. At least in terms of only some limbs being stretchy. At least it looks like from the preview.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's funny that Injustice was really relatively unhype at EVO because the crowd was just kind of sitting on their hands most of the time. But I think the game's really good. It's got issues, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy playing it a lot. I played when I was down in San Diego with my buddy, and I was like, this game's really well done overall. So
I can't disagree because I haven't spent any time with it, and I make it a point not to, pointlessly bash a game just because I don't like how it looks. I'll give it that much, but playing it is a whole totally different story. And as for the lack of hype for EVO, I kind of feel like it got the shit slot because Smash was just so incredible. Apparently, because I didn't even see it, but apparently it was like the best thing all night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, that's true.
I feel like people just can't. I feel like people just like coming down from that. Then like Injustice comes in, and it's already got all this drama behind it, and people are already like making their decision to support it or not support it before the thing even gets on the fucking stream.
Yeah, and I guess you do have to deal with people just regardless. People don't want to see Superman.
Yeah,
they just.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the character being overpowered or not overpowered. People just don't like Superman.
Yeah, it's in general.
Yeah, so I think there was a lot of hard feelings about people scumbagging to top tier. Even though, hey man, it's EVO. There's a lot of money on the line. You play to win.
Yeah, that's what we do. Like, don't worry about that shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I feel like people are trying to take it away from KDZ because he was playing Superman, and that's just not. That's not even what it's about. KDZ was the best player there easily.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And on the subject of EVO, we haven't really discussed what happened at EVO.
Oh, no, we haven't. We really went into like 30 minutes into like what else we like.
Yeah. So, I'd like to try to get this in order. So Tekken was the first finals that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't watch top 8, but I did. Like Sanchez and I walked into the ballroom and we saw Bronson on the main stage, and we saw top 4, and then we both noticed like, oh wait, WL, wait, he's in grand finals. Holy crap! He beat who? What? He beat everyone. And I decided to look through the bracket. He beat all the notable NorCal players and all the notable SoCal players, and he beat a Korean or two on the way.
Yeah.
I mean, Bronson did a damn good job this year.
That might be the best Bronson's ever done at a tournament.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
And
I've
I'm
never
including
seen
the
Bronson
times
perform
he
this well.
won national championships.
I mean, like, the good shit for Bronson. A lot of people still have no idea who he is. They just think he's that random guy that was on what was it called?
Don't
Cross
say it.
Assault?
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, whatever. They thought he was that random guy on the show, and now he doesn't.
I thought they figured he was just that random guy who shows up on FGTV sometimes.
I don't pay attention to FGTV.
I don't either. I just know he plays with those guys. I assume he's been on there.
Yeah, and like I know a lot of people hate Bronson, but hey, he did a damn good job. You can't take that away from him.
Oh, well, Bronson will always be known as that guy who talks a lot of shit.
Yes, and I love him.
And love him or hate him, you got to respect that, because when it comes down to it, Bronson doesn't really treat anyone like shit in real life. Like, he'll talk shit to you, and he'll be like, yeah, you're not good. But Bronson's not out there, literally trying to fuck people over in real life when real things are on the line. So,
Oh, shit.
I mean, good shit for him that basically he's a online scumbag.
Aren't we
And
all?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Talk that shit, especially with fighting games when pride's on the line. Talk that shit. Just leave it at the game.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, after Tekken was I want to say Persona. I saw Grand Finals.
Persona was
it.
great, actually.
Yeah. I wanted you and Sanchez to talk about it, but
Persona was really, I don't know. For me, it was really awesome to watch. I came in a little bit late, but seeing basically the U.S. take second through fourth, only losing to Yume, was as somebody who's been part of basically the ArcSys community for a decade. It's really heartening to see that, hey, you know what? Japan might still be better than us, but we're not that far behind. Because it used to be when Guilty Gear was at EVO, everybody knows it was like 7 Japanese guys, 4 of which who don't even play the game, and then 1 American was top 8. So it's good to see we've come so far. I really wanted to see Jose Bananaken play against Yume, but critical drop against LK cost him that one.
Man.
you think he could have taken the whole thing if he did win?
I don't know about that. I would have liked to see the match, though.
Okay.
I just think that I think also that Jose proved that pretty much he is the Shadow Labrys of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best. He's the best player of that character. Here, Japan.
It was fun watching him play. I gotta admit that. I've never seen him play the game. I'm gonna be honest. Watching him play, I was like, oh wow. Because the only Shadow Labrys I've seen are like some from SoCal and NorCal, and I'm like,
Yeah.
not entertaining.
So
Yeah.
it was awesome. It was a lot. And it really made me excited to even consider playing the game again. Like, because I played it for a while and I enjoyed it, but it felt like I didn't have a lot of people who I knew to play the game with, or who I had. I didn't have a personal community. Like, there's a lot of people in SoCal, but obviously I'm not from here. I don't have that history with the community, so I kind of dropped it. But seeing people like Bananaken, who basically his community is online, and that's how he got good, it's kind of like, well, damn, anybody can do it. If you put the work in and you really want it. So that's, I think, an important step forward America needs in the idea of online gaming.
Yeah. Cross Tekken was after Persona, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I know Justin got second. Justin got second. Vaya got fourth. I want to say. That's all I know. I don't even know who won it.
Infiltration? No.
I think
yeah,
it was
Infiltration,
Infiltration.
And I'm not knocking the game or anything. I just honestly had no idea the game was going on at that time. Like I had no idea it was there. I mean, I knew it was there. I just didn't know when it was being streamed, even though the stream schedule was posted publicly and all that stuff. didn't stick around in the ballroom for it, I guess.
Yeah.
What else? It was those three. There was a Gear side tournament. Paul, you and Sanchez did commentary for it. How'd that go?
Yeah, I did. I did a little bit of commentary with Alex. Alex did some work with Kugler, and that was one stream. I think that was Joshua's stream, and I also did some stuff with Steve and AKA.
Okay. And there was about 80 entries total for the.
Yeah,
tournament.
It was 80. I think it was about 80 people. It was a fun tournament. It was really well run, except for the little hiccup that happened in my bracket that got me put into losers. But I can't hold it against the guys. They were juggling a lot of different people, and it was a lot of guys talking, in a pretty small space. I was frustrated with it, don't get me wrong, but it happens to everybody once in a while. I think Hellmonkey and Amadeus did the commentary for Top 8, and I think that's on YouTube now, actually, on Bibicadium. I think it might be on Joshua. I can't remember which one. But it was fun. It was good to see a lot of people I hadn't seen in a while, like Hellmonkey I hadn't seen play Guilty Gear in years. And there were some really good matches. So.
So Gear. Yeah, Mortal Kombat Finals. I also don't know what happened with Mortal Kombat Finals either.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I gotta be honest, I forgot it was there.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I also forgot it was there. I guess during apparently I was in the ballroom where Mortal Kombat Finals were being held, playing Mark of the Wolves.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't realize it because where we had Mark of the Wolves set up was right behind the KI booth and the Madcast booth, so the stream was kind of blocked. Couldn't really see the screen.
I was kind of confused by that whole room because, were people playing in that room?
Yes.
Like at the stage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That entire room was dedicated to Mortal Kombat and Injustice.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole second ballroom was the bring your own console, and then the NetherRealm stuff.
Yeah. Which was good for them because the two players from both those games pretty much play those. Like there isn't too much of a crossover outside of with Tekken.
And honestly, this is just kind of without going into us just talking about the rest of results. Like the Evo layout in general this year was the best I think it's been in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic to have a separate room where basically the entire BYOC was in a separate room, which for me was great because it meant I wasn't in the main ballroom almost at all weekend. Like I could go play Gear, I could go watch people play ST. People brought a CVS2 machine that people were just getting clowned on. That was awesome.
It was fun watching boss beat people.
Yeah, and there was plenty of room for everybody to do these things, and I wasn't having to bump up against people who were running brackets or people who were playing in brackets, except for like MK and Injustice, which the room was big enough that they could do all of that in like a quarter of the room. It was great because last year at Evo sucked shit through a straw with the BYOC. It was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
All the BYOC was seriously cramped in a space smaller than like my living room, and nobody had fun. So big shout outs to Evo staff for getting it right. Like it was awesome this year.
So what else?
I mean, other than that, the big story of Sunday was Melee kicking ass.
Oh yeah.
Those guys. If people need to look at a lesson in what being hype is now, look at the Melee guys on Sunday. Those guys were jumping up and down. They were yelling. They had chants. Like, I mean, come on. Seeing a dude play Ice Climbers to make second place, that shit's pretty impressive. I don't care if they do have a throw infinite.
No, it was okay. So I've been telling people this the whole time. I didn't understand what was going on with most of the game, but I was enjoying myself watching it. It was fun to watch. Like it was more fun watching that than watching Street Fighter for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know the players, but obviously you can tell by the crowd that there were certain fan favorites. Everyone was happy that the guy who won. I didn't enjoy watching the Ice Climber thing, but watching the little things that they do with them technically was pretty neat.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised no Marths anywhere.
Yeah.
Marth was a character I used to use. I love Marth. He's awesome.
That I thought was really cool, and I kind of think they will be back next year.
Yeah. I mean, they proved this year that they're gonna show up in massive numbers, and they're like not just to play but to watch as well.
Yeah.
They were louder than the majority of other games.
And I mean, like you said, they showed up. They put all that money down, and instead of just being like, "Yeah, we got our game there," and stayed at home, they were the third biggest game there.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys probably
biggest.
didn't play anything else.
Yeah. They were also the second biggest stream, or second biggest viewer count for the stream. They had 135,000, I want to say. 130, 135.
Yeah.
Only second to Marvel, I believe.
Yep.
But we'll see how it goes. EVO did 9 games this year, and I personally think they should just cut it down because 9 is a bit much. But I mean, they proved that they can do it with no issues. So maybe they're wrong.
KOF was awesome. America won.
Yep.
Oh wait, America won KOF. I thought
America
America
won KOF.
sucks in King of Fighters.
Well, that's actually been pissing everybody off apparently.
Yeah, like
hey, we're the best at KOF 13.
Yep.
And Marvel.
no, but just I want to say more so that people have been talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, it would have been great if Bala was there because he's so good." Even though he did get beat last year and all that, and then people were like, "Oh man, Korea's the best," but it's a Mexican game, and people don't realize that the Chinese are also really good at King of Fighters, just throughout the years and stuff. But I think what Top 8 likes to show is that okay, America won, so right now, I guess they're on top of the world. But the representation and the breakdown of Top 8 was that we had practically every region.
Yeah.
And that everybody's good at King of Fighters. There's no one place, no one person. It's just you put the effort and you play the game. And I don't want to hear, "Oh, I'm second only to Japan because I'm from blank," or "Oh, America's not that good despite winning." It's like, no, everybody showed up, everybody did well. I mean, the finals started to look one-sided, but
And honestly, if I had to peek inside the minds of EVO staff, I would consider bringing KOF 13 back again next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got a lot of heat right now.
It is just as international a game as Street Fighter 4 is in terms of the people who showed up. And again, it's another game that brings people who wouldn't normally be at EVO to EVO.
Right.
Yep.
Definitely.
Speaking of that, I've been talking to some of the Japanese players who didn't show up this year. They intend on showing up next year if EVO's gonna have it, because they had everything banking on Wu winning.
Yeah,
I'm sure they did.
Oh wait!
After that second win.
So, and I mean, like I was telling people going into EVO, I did think Wu was gonna take top spots. My predictions, if I remember right, were top 4 was gonna be Reynolds, Wu, Mad KOF, Yang Yao Ren. I was wrong about Ren.
Yeah, what the fuck?
But, damn it.
Hey man, he's a great player anyway.
Yeah, he's still a great player. The Japanese are like they're from what I'm told, they actually have a new fire lit under them now. They're actually playing harder now than they were after last EVO. And actually, Wu, even though he's one of the best players out there, there's also another player named Mew who's really, really fucking good.
Well, you got Mew, you got Tenkawa, you got
and
Picnic.
those two are planning on coming out along with Dune and a few others. If they can make it, it just all depends on them.
Oh yeah, I mean it always depends on whether people have the money, people can get the time. But I think
also I just want to say I don't know if people notice this, but good shit to Hori for providing all the Japanese players with sticks.
Yeah.
At EVO, a lot of people don't realize Hori did that, which is why the Japanese players were wearing Hori shirts.
There you go.
I think Hori should make an effort to bring some of the more notable players out then, because that would be nothing but good business for them.
It would. Would also cost a lot of money, but we'll see.
Yeah.
True.
And you know what? I honestly feel like here's why I think that EVO in general was a success, because almost every game I saw on the stage or the side stage at EVO, I was like, man, this actually makes me want to play this game.
Yeah.
Again, like if it was something I haven't played, like I was like, man, I want to play. And that's what a good tournament should do, is it should make you want to pick up the controller yourself and play.
Mhm.
I understand that for some people it's not about that. They'd rather just enjoy it from the spectator. But for those of us who've played a lot of tournaments in our lives, like I was just like, man, I actually kind of do want to play KOF 13 again, even though I do hate HD mode.
Well, I think
But
most people are like that. I think most people want to like watch a game that they might end up wanting to play later. I think there, like you said, there are people who are purely going to spectate it and appreciate it for what it is that other people do. But I think for the most part, Evo or Evo, whatever, is based on people who want to be introduced into new games and enjoy them on the same level that we do.
Yeah. And I think seeing something like KOF 13 played in the variety of styles it was, I mean, if you watched a lot of the older school KOF players who made it far, you didn't really see a lot of HDs from them.
Yeah.
It was a lot of they were playing small ball a lot of the time, and it would be like only HD if you need it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that kind of makes it kind of made me feel like, oh, I could do this because it's not all about that. Because my execution isn't that great, but I can kind of play the way they play.
Well, you can do a 50% drive cancel combo. Like,
oh yeah,
those do big damage.
Yep.
Yeah, certainly. Like you can have a whole HD meter and do like tons of damage, off a small conversion. But the way they were playing was that they were more willing to spend their resources early for quick damage because the game plan was, I'm not going to get hit. And I mean, we saw some great blocking out of there too. Like,
yeah, we
just
did.
like pure fundamentals, like mix-ups after mix-ups, guessing, just like, man, this is really intense. Like sometimes you just had to be like, I got to spend the meter now because, I don't know if I'm going to have another chance in order to do something about all this pressure or what's going on.
Exactly. Like, especially in grand finals, I didn't really see anybody saving anything. Like, I know damn sure Reynolds wasn't saving anything. And Wu was, I think for the first couple matches, he was just kind of like, hanging back like he had been doing the whole weekend. And then once he felt like he read his opponent right, he would just go all in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely played until he got to like a little bit closer to the mid screen. He was like, "All right, time to wall. Like I'm gonna put the pressure on."
No, his watching his Rio play, that's the best I've ever seen anyone ever play Rio. He used him perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And the only
what's
thing
interesting, he never used the parry.
That's what I was gonna say. He actually never used the parry when he could have, and it wouldn't have really cost him anything. But I don't know what he was thinking at the time. So
and this is something I've been telling people this for a long time about Rio with 13. He needs to be a walking wall in order to do well. And I never thought he could do that well, being a walking wall. Like I would say like, oh yeah, he's good that way, but he can probably play a bit better. But no, god damn it, like Wu just can like the only reason Reynolds would be able to get in on him is because he made Wu made a mistake or he made a miscalculation, one or the other.
And then you saw what Reynolds was doing with EX Kill, who was easily his most damaging character and hardly ever did any HD combos. Pretty much did one open up to Rekka, hard knockdown, put you in the corner and make you guess on what he's going to do next.
Yeah, his safe jump pressure was just on point. Like, you really had to see, like, I got to block this, and then what's he going to do after?
Yeah.
And so many times people would crack under the pressure of his crouch or standing Bs and just stop holding down back and just get, pegged right in the leg.
Well, it's because unlike regular Kyo, who kind of has, like, safe jump, and then he could go either, like, the diagonal low D or something like that. He had two options. Like, EX Kill kind of has those options, but he has, like, a couple more moves behind him, so you have to keep on blocking. So nothing's really unsafe for him.
Yeah, because he goes low, but then he covers the hop space with stand D, hop D, or Rekka.
Exactly.
And you just, with the way he spaced it properly, it's really difficult to get out of.
Especially with Ryo. I think the only person he could have done anything about that with was Takuma, and he just never got a chance to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But,
it was fun watching the entire thing.
It was.
USA all the way.
Totally. But yeah, that is something I forgot. We actually saw someone get stunned outside of a stun combo.
That was crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
What was it? Reynolds stunned Tokido, right?
Yeah, two hits.
That's impressive, especially with the way stun meter is in 13.
It pretty much starts building back up once you stand up.
Yeah. Man.
I mean, overall, it was more okay. This is just my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree with me. KOF was way more exciting this year than it was last year.
I would agree
Yes.
100%.
100. Yeah.
The
It didn't,
story last year was better.
Yeah, it didn't have the super crowd participation, but overall, I think it was a better tournament.
Yeah. Like last year was seemed better to a lot of people because everyone was cheering, going for Bala. And there was a story behind it, like him just like, oh, I've won everything, gonna win everything else now.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. And then this year or last year's champ comes back and gets blown out by 2 different players
Who actually made it in the grand finals, so it's almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man,
And there's still a story to it because the story
there
now is playing out afterwards, where people were like I mentioned earlier, like people were saying Wu is somewhat inferior to Bala for some reason, despite him having done the exact same thing Bala did last year, and so a lot of people are calling for grudge matches between Wu, Mad KOF, Reynolds, Bala. And if they all ever make it into the same house again, it could happen. So there's definitely some interest there. It's still going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other interesting thing was that there's a continuation from last year. And they meant, I think it got mentioned that Mad KOF won after being down to his last game.
Yep.
In the first set of grand finals last year, and Reynolds did the same thing this year.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, if there's anything that can tell you that you got to play every game of KOF 13 100%, or it can slip away. I think finals at EVO the last 2 years really proved that.
Oh yeah. And
You only need
especially
one to get that momentum.
the look on
The other
Wu's
thing-
face.
Oh my God! Once he lost, like he thought he had the last match of the first set, and when he lost it, he was just kind of like, "Where's my 4th character?"
Well, there are a couple.
Oh,
Jimmy,
I think we lost.
Yeah.
But,
Technical difficulty.
Illuminati.
um,
Kind of unfortunate with Wu because you see a lot of pictures where he's got like some pretty bad faces up, and the truth is he made those faces for a split second. He didn't hold those faces, he wasn't walking around looking like shit the whole time. Just
Yeah.
God damn it, I didn't win. When top 8 was up there receiving their medals, he was just sitting there. He's like, I lost, damn it, shit. And then I guess after they announced Reynolds won, for a quick second he cringed, and someone got a picture of that, and everyone just assumes that's what he looked like the entire time. But
Well, there were some shots of him where because I honestly think this is how his eyebrows are shaped, because the camera guy, I think it was Tony, was just zooming in on him, and he just had this super forlorn look on his face the entire time, in between rounds. And then at the end, of course, he famously threw his stick.
yeah.
Well, and I think people need to not read into it. We can't know what he was thinking. I mean, he was mad, but
I'm sure
Yeah.
he was.
you're not getting mad when you're not winning finals. Then you probably didn't want to win enough.
Yeah, I mean, look, I respect the shit out of him throwing his stick and getting pissed off.
Yeah.
I'd have been pissed off too. I mean, look, I was one combo away from winning the entire thing, and then I don't win a single match after that. I would be pissed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I would imagine. I imagine Gibby would have just grabbed the monitor and thrown it across the stage.
I'm out.
Why is it so laggy?
Ghostbusters, call him.
And then, of course, everybody has already, I assume, been talking incessantly about Justin Wong in Losers at Marvel.
Oh yeah.
The Return of the King. Might as well
Mhm.
call it. I mean, he didn't win, but I don't even think that matters to most people.
No.
The fact that he
He's-
went that
And I
far.
don't know that it even matters to Justin. Because he basically proved that he is still the best at those games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would have, honestly, he could have beat Flocker. Last game, had he chosen not to do the Infinite, that puts him in a really good position to win.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And good shit to Job. This is a guy who, people were talking shit about Zero, but Zero wasn't winning shit. Zero would, take people out, but he wouldn't win. They wouldn't win anything. And Flocker fucking stuck to his team. He stuck to his guns. And he's got a couple big wins under his belt now.
Yeah, man. Conquered the indomitable force, Chris G, first of all, and then wins EVO.
Yeah, man. Can't hate on it.
Nope.
And SF4 I didn't really watch. Once Haitani got eliminated, I left.
Well, the only thing you really missed was heat.
I mean, I missed Hakan, but
That was
other
kind of
than
sick. I like that.
I
The
love
most
it.
entertaining matches for me were matches that Haitani, Sako, and were in. I mean, like I liked watching PR Rog versus Infiltration, but
That was such a tense match.
yeah, it was more tense than exciting. Watching Sako play is just so entertaining.
Yeah.
Same thing with Haitani. It's like, oh wow, this is so fun. Keep going. They lost.
Mm.
And I didn't want Xiaohai to win. I predicted him to win. I have no idea who beat him, but he did not make top 16. I think Dako made it further than he did.
Wasn't a lot of people predicting
Dang.
Xiaohai would go far?
Yeah. Well, Xiaohai is an amazing player.
Yeah.
He went far last year, and he's been winning a ton of shit this past year. So.
You know, and then of course we have the aftermath of Evo. I guess we don't have an official word. What looks like the breakup of Team AGE really kind of sucks for those guys.
They got rid of their team manager, Sebastian Jennings. Chris G is no longer representing AGE. Fnatic no longer. Saber also not representing. I don't know about the other players, but those are the only three who spoke out so far.
Yeah.
From what I've read, they're getting rid of a lot of departments within PDP, and they're going to be they laid off a ton of people. So
it's really disappointing. I mean, you know, love them or hate them, no matter what your opinion about AGE, they were helping players out, and they were doing a good thing for the community by giving those, giving flights, giving sticks, giving product, making it easier for guys to play the games they love. So it's really a bummer to see them, if that's what's happened here.
Right,
Really a bummer to see them go.
Yeah,
And
because
all the shit that happened, they were one of the better sponsors in the scene.
Yeah, they were a legitimate sponsor.
They took real care, really good care of their players. They sent them to almost every tournament. Like people just bring up the fact that their player. I don't like their players because of this. I don't like their players because of that. But as a sponsor, they did everything for their players. They did good by their players. I mean, there could be some things behind the scenes that we don't know about, but their players were at every single major.
Yeah.
Like they didn't send one guy; they sent multiple people. And what other sponsor has done that?
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully, it's just maybe a shuffling of stuff, and maybe they come back. But I mean, we can't know. Obviously, there hasn't been any announcement there's been murmurings from the players, like we said, but there's no forthcoming announcement, at least at this time, it seems like, from PDP about what's happened there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, other than that...
What does that mean for their trip to the beach?
I don't know. That is, this weekend, right? VXG.
Yeah, this is coming weekend.
And so... That's a whole nother ball of wax. The European players are not going to VXG due to just inability to go, I guess, according to their airlines. I guess Caribbean Airlines just is not working with
VXG.
The situation as it was presented. I mean, it's kind of a little obtuse as what's really happening. So it's hard to say.
I mean, it feels really strange because it seems like somebody shouldn't be able to just back out of an agreement like that.
Well, that's the thing is I think it's hard to say because nobody knows what the plans were supposed to be from the get-go. Like, nobody knows how long those players were supposed to be there, so what the original itinerary was supposed to look like. Either way, I think it's a bad look for VXG. I think it makes them look like they're irresponsible in getting players their agreed upon prizes.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's hard to say. You never can tell, especially with businesses and agreements, what fell through where, but it's just not a good look.
And the other thing that we always bring up we've brought this up many times. Contracts,
Yes.
contracts. Always
that's-
get one.
And that's why I'm wondering how the airline. And the only answer I can come up with is there was no contract between VXG and Caribbean Airlines. Otherwise, they would not so, especially so close to go time, not back out of an agreement that had been set in motion months ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
like clearly they felt like they had nothing to lose by backing out of it. They were probably like, you know, the way I envision it, you know, the guys at VXG went up to them and said, hey, like, you know, we're running this tournament that's going to promote tourism here. Would you be willing to work with us for some, you know, discounted plane tickets for international people? And they were probably going like, yeah, sure. Go time comes around and they're like, okay, so what's up with them tickets? And they're like, oh, you guys were serious about that?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think that if, man, I don't know. It seems like a really complicated situation because you would think if VXG was under the gun, so to speak, to fulfill these prizes, that they would find a way to fly them
Yeah.
there. That they could, you know, send them to, I don't know, like Jamaica first, and then transit from there to St. Martin. But I don't know.
I mean, the
From
legal
what,
issues in this.
Yeah, from what White Black has said on Twitter, they told him your qualifying win will transfer over to VXG 2014.
Great.
So yeah, he has no guarantees of anything.
Yeah.
Maybe they've told him something in private that could do something, but I know like all the European players aren't going. Ryan Hart's upset. White Black's upset. There are other players who were going who said things
There's
were
a
going
lot
to
of
take.
there's a lot of murmurings on Twitter about people not being able to go. Who were supposed to go.
You got blatantly
And-
Filipino champ asking for donations.
Well, didn't Champ win a qualifier?
He did, and he was still streaming apparently not last night or the other night, you know, saying, help me go to the VXG.
No, I know. But like, there are several players who, from what I'm told, were told all their stuff was going to be taken care of, but nothing came of it.
Yeah.
The main one I talked to about is Kane Blue River.
Yeah.
And that
Ever
just
since I've
sucks.
seen him the past month, he would tell me, he's like, yeah, they said they're going to take care of it. They're on it. And then he's like, I haven't heard from him. Whatever. Like I liked the mentality he had going into it. It's like, haven't heard from it. Most likely I'm not going anywhere. Whatever. That's fine. I would just like to hear them say yes or no already.
Yeah, and again, we have to, you know, stress that this is just people talking. It's one side of a conversation,
Mhm.
and nobody on the VXG side is speaking to their situation. So I don't want anybody jumping to conclusions because that's not fair.
So let's wait for Rolando. I think Rolando the only person involved with VXG, like publicly?
I believe in terms of the inner workings, yes.
Okay. So I guess we have to wait on him to say something.
Yeah.
But I know he's busy right now preparing for the event. I saw like people putting up pictures of some of the people already there. So maybe we won't hear anything till after VXG, and of course there's always a possibility we won't hear anything at all.
Yeah.
I mean, if they sweep that under the rug, they might as well not come back next year. I don't think people are just going to, you know, forget about it. And then again, they might. So we'll never say never.
Yeah. But VXG is this weekend. I believe it's still being streamed by Capcom Fighters, at least part of the tournament.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who's streaming the rest of it. I've heard several names in accordance with the tournament over months, but I haven't been keeping up.
Yeah. All I know is that they said the trailer that they showed is Capcom Fighters is the official stream.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna assume it's the main stream. We'll see. I mean,
but they can only stream Capcom games, right?
I don't know. And on top of that, I don't know what's going on with other tournaments at VXG. Like, I know they're doing Street Fighter, Marvel, KOF, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, and so on, but who from the community is actually going?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know.
once again, VXG said like all these different players are going. They said Cafe Ed, people from Mexico, people from America and Japan, so on. But we no longer have any idea who's confirmed.
Well, so far only the Europeans have been like pushed out, right?
From what we do know, Europeans aren't going to be there. I haven't heard anything from the Cafe Ed players, but I remember they told me they were going to stay in the U.S.
To
and
go,
then
right?
go,
Yeah.
then go to San Martin. But they're all, from what I'm told, they're all in Korea or Japan right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with that. I haven't heard back from anyone there.
That's going to be the hardest thing, is figuring out, who's actually there or who is confirmed to go, because people aren't necessarily speaking up,
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean they're hiding something. It just means that they don't see a reason to have to volunteer it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But at the same time, it looks really bad because the people who are going, they're people from the scene, but they aren't really 100% players anymore. I noticed that from the list, that a lot of people who are confirmed and saying they're going still are like,
the VIP list or whatever?
Yeah, the VIP list, the people that they want you to come and hang out with, basically, because you should be starstruck when sitting next to, Gutex. So...
I don't know. Well, like I said, I guess we'll see. This weekend with them being streamed, you'll be able to see the people who show up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's really too bad is that there's all of this murmur around the tournament, and I've always heard that they actually have a lot of really good players there who just want to play good players. They just want to have that opportunity to compete. So it's too bad that there is all of this drama, I guess, surrounding the event now.
Yeah. But then again, who knows? Maybe there's a bunch of silent killers over there, so it could be interesting anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there are. But other than that, I think we're done. Anybody think anything else?
Let's see. No, nothing. No.
Skullgirls coming out August 22nd for the PC.
There you go.
Duck Eater won at EVO against Severin in the grand finals.
Wait, Dan Severin?
Yes, the Beast. Yes, the Beast, Dan Severin.
Awesome. I didn't know he played Skullgirls.
He's a huge Skullgirls fan. He's like 60 now. He's in there.
So, does he have the same rivalry with Ken Shamrock and Royce Gracie?
Of course.
Awesome.
And Royce can't raise his hands, man.
But yeah.
Did I mention something about the KCE KOF tournament that's happening at the end of the year?
No, you didn't.
No, it's not confirmed when it's happening yet.
Okay.
That's why I didn't want to bring it up.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, when it's confirmed, we'll talk about it. I'll go into it in detail. I plan on talking to the organizers for several reasons. Hopefully, if everything works out well in the end, it will be a really, really good event.
There you go.
Bring in the pain. Where the hell is Alex?
He's busy. Yeah, he's being a billionaire right now. Let me see. Anything else I can think of? Yeah. So another thing about EVO, people were saying the crowd seemed smaller in general when they were on the player cam. It's just that they actually had a small area sectioned off for like they called it the hype box or whatever.
Yeah.
This year it was sectioned off. In previous years, the entire front of the stage was packed full of people, so it looks much smaller. That's where people were yelling, getting nuts, just being near the players. Like they were like 2-3 feet away from the players.
Oh yeah.
They had fun. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, there's one thing that happened that I meant to talk about on the Level Up stream when I was doing commentary for KOF. Yeah, we kind of got robbed.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Walkman's car was broken into, and everything that belonged to Sanchez, Nocturnal, and Walkman was stolen. Well over $2,000 worth of stuff, including clothing. Many people in the community have reached out to help, and we're grateful to all of them. But we're dealing with everything right now with the local police, hotel security, insurance companies, and we'll see how everything goes. I'd like to give a big thanks to Kugi.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He gave all of the guys shirts to wear.
I have nothing but the greatest of praise for that man. He really helped me out in the time when I just felt just awful. It was ridiculously terrible.
Yeah, you seemed like shit. You got for those who don't know, Walkman got pretty much everything taken from him: laptop, PS3, hard drives, clothes, everything.
Everything was gone.
we at Arcade Shock gave them clothes or shirts as well, but not the amount that Kugi gave. Kugi gave variety. Kugi gave them full access to the shop, which is a really good thing for them to do. We're all grateful. We're all thankful. If you don't already follow them on Broken Tier. Follow them at Broken Tier. Like them on Facebook. Broken Tier, Instagram. Broken Tier. Show them love.
Yeah, support Broken Tier for that.
Yeah.
You really, when we got a hold of him, when I got a hold of him, to see if he could help, he was more than willing to help them out.
Mm-hmm.
And it really helped because otherwise they were not going to have clothes. Luckily, myself and my wife actually had not left on our plane, so we bought some undergarments at Target for Sanchez because otherwise he was wearing same underwear for like 3 days, and that was going to be all.
Yeah, trust me, it sucks.
At the same time, my car didn't get damaged or anything, which was nice. So me and Nocturnal, we went out and we bought some things. Cheap, not very comfortable, not necessarily relaxing wear for what was going on, but I mean, this is probably my worst Evo experience ever. I still had decent chunks of time despite that because of the great people around me, and I'm really thankful for the friendships I have and for the people that have just shown expressions to help me. They're like, if you need anything, I don't have a lot of money. I'm like, don't worry about it for now. I got the cash. Let's see how my insurance pulls through. But I just want to thanks to everyone in the community, and especially you guys, for being there when I felt really awful.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm sorry, but I couldn't donate the $100 because I lost it all at blackjack the night before I left. I swear I was up like $300 and I put it all.
I thought I told you.
I doubled down like 200 on a 12, man, and she fucking came up with a jack. Who does that?
Actually, hotel security apparently told me they have a sign that says "Park at your own risk" that I didn't see, and that they don't check the cameras unless the Metro Police Department gets in contact with them. So,
well, we did get them into whatever,
yeah.
I'd also like to thank Evo staff, specifically Shrek, Chris Lee. I had an LGP for a friend of mine, Gunsmith from Orochinagi.com, which was stolen in the car, which was, oddly enough, that was all that was taken that belonged to me. Chris Lee replaced it. He heard what happened from James Chen and several other people. He and I spoke to him and Tony Cannon. They were both concerned. I told him what happened, and without hesitation, he just handed me an LGP to give to Gunsmith.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing is that the outpouring of support for these guys who got all their shit jacked, like, everybody stepped up and helped when they could, how they could. So, it doesn't replace his laptop or his PS3, but, there's a lot of love that was shown, so.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that, like, people in the media, they always bash the fighting game scene for whatever, but you see, like, we got nothing but people caring for us. Everyone wanted to donate money. They wanted, like, I had a bunch of people like, oh, we'll buy them underwear, buy them socks, buy them this, but we wanted to try to settle everything on our own because we've seen people take advantage of the scene where it's like, oh, this happened to me, please donate, and they only need like $100, but in the end they get like $2,000-$3,000. We didn't want to be those dicks. So that's the best way I can put it. We're grateful to everyone who wanted to help. Really thankful to all of them. Everyone was concerned. James Chen, Unamba from Atlas. Once again, Kugi from Broken Tier. Vin True from Arcade Shock. What other names? Chris Lee, Tom, Tony Cannon. I don't know if I talked to Wizard about it. I really can't remember. Chris Seglia. Spooky, Markman. Just a bunch of people, like, they all offered to help in some way. And it's really nice to know that we actually have a community of people that are willing to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's passionate about the games, but they're also passionate about the players.
Yep. And, like you said, people offer to donate money, but, we're trying to go through, hopefully Anthony's insurance will recoup some of the part because we don't really want to be taking stuff from people like that, so.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll see how it all goes. We'll keep everyone up to date. We don't want to do a donation drive if we don't have to, and if we do, we will have a cap on it.
Yeah.
We don't want to take more money than is necessary. And in reality, it's only going to go to 3 people, which would be Walkman, Sanchez, and Nocturnal. Because it was 5 of us riding out there. Nothing got what got taken from me was replaced already. Once again, thanks to Chris Lee, and the other guy we were with had nothing taken because he and I both had pretty crummy bags. That's the only excuse.
Just shows what kind of fashion sense Gibby has. Nobody wants his stuff.
No one wants my plain black, white, blue shirts. I don't know. I mean, also, this is way off topic. Special thanks to Random Llama. Love you. He gave me a Raiders hat. Just gave it to me. Out of the kindness of his own heart, just gave me a Raiders hat. I gave the man the biggest hug in the world.
I can confirm that.
Amazing.
That was great.
I was wondering where you got that. I saw that. I was like, when the hell are they giving you a Raiders hat?
I love the hat. I mean, it's just sitting here right next to me, right next to my Dodgers hat. So, for those of you who haven't seen me in any hat other than a Dodgers hat, expect to start seeing me in Raiders hats.
Not in my house.
Oh yes, definitely in your house.
Fuck
It
nah,
will-
man. Don't get cut.
But yeah, I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of SDR. So for all the rest of the guys and Sanchez, who I think might have died.
Yep.
Good night and good luck.
Everybody get up.